It's the dream state between spirit and etheric. Again, listen. What you're referring to as a dream, what you're referring to as a dream is what your ego is capitulating to be a dream because it can't cross that barrier into the spiritual universe. You follow? And it's telling you that that's a dream. And they tell you that a dream isn't really happening. This is the dream state. The dream state is right here in the physical realm. I don't know, that might have went over your head earlier. I said that this is a physical dream. You in a physical dream right now. What year was you born? What year was you born, Shamari? The dream state is between the spirit and the physical. You wasn't listening. You was born in 97. Where was you at in 95? Where was you at in 1995? You remember that? Because see, while you was in the spirit realm, that wasn't a dream then. Because you didn't have a body. You didn't have a physical self. So if you didn't belong to the physical dimension, that couldn't be a dream, could it? That's a reality. The spiritual realm doesn't become a dream, listen, until you acquire a physical body. And then your ego start gaslighting you. See how they all use that term, gaslight? Gas equals spirit. Light. Light as in weight. And frequency or color. You see that? And they say gaslight is somebody telling you that something is not, you're not experiencing what you actually experiencing. They'll try to convince you that you don't know what you're doing or that you're wrong. But that's what your physical mind does when you come into the physical dimension, because it can't go into the degrees of the spiritual mind. It can't go into the spiritual universe, right? Are you grasping that concept? I was here in 1996. I graduated from high school in 1996. And I'm telling you, that shit really existed. You wasn't here to say that it existed. You had no understanding of what was going on here. You wanted to come here though. Your mama and daddy, right? Your mama and daddy was here. They know what was going on. But you didn't. You wanted to know. But they told you when you was in the spirit realm that, yo, man, you're going to experience something called forget. And you're going to forget that you would have to be reminded to remember why the soul, the ray, incarnated in the first place. They told you that. You forgot. So they gave you a memory. They gave you memory so that you could record your experiences in the physical dimension once you took on a physical body. Because they knew that your physical mind, right, It got 20 ounces to work with. Got 20 ounces of consciousness to work with. It can't work with a full ocean, right? Can't work with that. You might be too much for you, loved one. Did you take a screenshot of what I put up on the board? Because that's not a dream. This is the dream. You know it's a dream because you wasn't here in 1995. "1995, Biggie Smalls was the illest. Your songs is played out, but Arnold don't know what you talk about, Willis. The Thriller is gone, the Black Frank White here to recite, throw dick the dikes." You feel me? He was the man in 95, 94 when he came out. You wasn't here for none of that. That shit was a dream. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. He was dreaming, listen, about what he wanted to happen in the physical dimension. Just like many of you. You don't dream about what you want to happen in the spiritual dimension. You dream about what you want to happen in the physical dimension. Because it's a physical dream. Y'all follow that? Y'all got, I'm trying to see what y'all capable of grasping. And shouts out to Shamari for asking that question. Right? He might not be grasping this concept thoroughly because you're attempting, listen, to eat porterhouse steak when you're ready for breast milk. You got to drink the breast milk first so you get enough calcium and sodium in your body so that you could develop teeth, so that you can chew and break the meat down, and that your body, your digestive tract can, evolve to a point to where now you're ready, right? Now you're ready to consume something heavier. Might be too heavy for you. You're trying to process too much at one time. And as I said before, it's increments. Take it increments at a time, you guys. But I don't know where everybody at. It's a whole bunch of people on a whole bunch of different levels. And just because everybody else is somewhere else, that don't mean that you have to hurry up and rush to get where everybody else is at. You know what I mean? Don't try to just overwhelm yourself. Shouts out to Leo Wright, my brother Leo Wright. He said, "Hey, man." He said, Prayer Hill said, "Hey, come on, I got you." But see, that brother born in 97. He didn't, you know what I mean? And there ain't no shot to that. It's just that its consciousness might not be all the way there yet. You got to grow into that. Consciousness might not be there. That's why I be telling people to ask questions like, yo, don't be ashamed. Ask your questions. But that question, you should have asked that question, Shamari. When I put all that stuff up on the board, I asked who had a question. You let me take all that shit off the board and ask the question that was relating to what I took off the board. You showing me like that might be too much for you. And I told you, you need to just start with the physical. Deal with the physical knowledge first, right? You got to get the physical down. Master physical knowledge. In the degrees of the physical self, right? You want to get the knowledge of the physical self. That's the first gate of raynology. I don't know if you got that book, First Gate. Biology in a dictionary. See, I've been studying this for 29 years. Some of you guys hear me and think you've been studying for 29 weeks and you about to just condense all that into 20. You about to condense my 29 years into 29 weeks or in 29 minutes. It ain't gonna work like that. You not. See, this new generation, like I said, y'all want convenience. Y'all want everything, y'all want an instant gratification. You gotta earn. Your own oversoul will block you because you're not ready to process certain things. You will end up going crazy. And shouts out to Lavelle again. I got to give it up to one of my new students, Lavelle. she working trauma surgery. She's not a surgeon. She's the surgeon's assistant, right? And she's seasoned in that department. And when we start talking on the esoteric level, and she knows the physical body. Listen, she said, Dr. Ray, shouts out to Lavelle. I don't know if she's here, but she'll catch what I'm saying on the replay. She's like, Dr. Ray, I'm still drinking milk. You know what I'm saying? She's like, I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I'm ready to eat a porterhouse steak. You know, what's that big ass piece of steak? I forget what they call it. That shit like $700. You know, the big ass with the big bone on it and shit. Forget what they call it. But that's like trying to get at to a little three-month-old. Like, it's like a 3-month-old trying to eat that. It's like, shit, I gotta eat that. It can't, you know, what's gonna numb it with his gums? That shit, it gets stuck all up in. Is that the porterhouse? No, it's bigger than the porterhouse. That's that next level shit. I used to call it the Fred Flintstone steak. You gotta have some ducats to. Yeah, there it is, the tomahawk. There it is, that tomahawk. It's like a 6-month-old trying to consume a tomahawk. That's right, Leo. That's the next level steak. Yeah, the tomahawk. That's like, hey, you try to give your little baby in the high chair, you try to give him tomahawk. All it's gonna be able to do is suck on it. But imagine that full tomahawk getting into the belly of that child. It'll kill it. It'll kill the child. It'll be overwhelming. You follow? And a lot of people jump out here and instead of them just drinking the breast milk or the Similac, they want to eat tomahawk. And it's like, yo, you ain't ready for tomahawk. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not being ready for tomahawk. Be ready for that breast milk. Like Lavelle says, you're like, shit, doc, I'm not ready to eat that porterhouse. I ain't ready. You know, that's on a whole nother level. I need I'll take my glass of milk, please. And she twice your age, brother. She twice your age, Shamari. And she quick to say that. Like, I'll just have my glass of milk. One of my siblings, shouts out to my sister, my sister Aliyah. She'll say, listen, bruh, that's just too deep for me. I'm comfortable with the level of ignorance that I know that I have. I don't feel like having that much truth disseminated onto me. She knows where she knows what, you know what I mean? You gotta put a governor on what you make yourself aware to. especially once you done left the confines of organized religion, right? That's a safety guard. That's a safety net. And that's why I be telling y'all people that leave religion. Have you studied their religion? Do you know do you know it in and out? You just heard somebody like Dr. Ray show the inconsistencies and the flaws and the hypocrisies in the scripture, in the transliteration of the scripture, because none of that shit was revealed in English, Greek, or Latin, or in Hebrew either, right? However, said prerequisite books in biology and dictionary or knowledge. Yeah, I'm saying in the gates of rainology, within our community. that's gate one. Before you even get to rainology, that's the prerequisite to rainology. Not to knowledge, just to rainology. That's the prerequisite. You have to, I implore that people study the physical anatomy first and read the dictionary. Known to me, pick up your vocabulary. Because some people don't know how to write. They don't know how to spell words. They don't know how to articulate themselves very well. I hate to say it, but it's true. We leave high school and we think, oh, I don't have to learn nothing no more. That's how you've been programmed. I just need to go to work. But that's how the Rockefellers program people to be. Some of you graduate from college and say, oh, shit, I don't have to learn nothing no more. I just need to work. You've been programmed. But you need to be learning every day. What do gate 2 tell you, you guys? Right? What do gate 2 tell you? Spend 19 minutes every day reading. In the AM, that got to be your ritual. You want to start reading. And don't try to force it. Those incremental units of time that you're putting into the 9 gates of rainology, right? Those increments will compound over time. That's right, son nature. Life is a learning process. It's just like a baby. When you first got your man or your woman pregnant, or the man got you pregnant, and you went and pissed on the stick, and you said, "Baby, I'm pregnant." He was like, "Bullshit, I pulled out." "No, baby, I'm pregnant." Damn. I guess we're gonna have to have a baby. You don't want to have a baby with me? Yeah, I don't mind having a baby. I just wasn't trying to get your ass pregnant. Damn. Now we about to have a baby. You don't just reach up in there 2 weeks later and say, okay, here go the baby. Let's raise it. That baby has to grow and gestate in the womb. And I talk about that in the 1089 manual, right? Available on the website. It's only $8.88. This gives structure to your study habits. That's what the 9 gates in the 1089 manual. That's not the 9 gates of rainology. Even though 9 gates of rainology kind of overlap with them. Everything that I teach overlaps over everything else, right? But it takes at least 9 months for a child to gestate in the womb. You follow? That child has to grow in the womb. It has to grow and develop to the degree that it's able to be birthed. How many of you guys seen Malcolm X? Put a 9 in the comments if you ever seen Malcolm X. Shouts out to Denzel Washington, right? You remember him? He was a damn fool, right? He was slick. He was deceptive. But when he got to jail, and he had 2 cigarettes on his lip, and he tried to give my man a cigarette, he was like, don't you try to con me. He was like, hey, ain't no con. And that nigga sat down and started telling him something about himself that he didn't know. He had an unconscious incompetence. What did Malcolm X, what's the first book that nigga read? Somebody put it in the comment section. What was the first book that Malcolm X read? It wasn't the Holy Quran. That's right, Riff. Shouts out to Riff. He read the dictionary. He said, I'm going to start from the first word. Aardvark. Aardvark. It has 2 A's in it. He was like, why is it 2 A's there and you only using 1? He was breaking the spell in. See, you got to learn to spell these words out because they've been spelled into you. The spell has been cast in you. You got to spell it out. Because as my Supreme Grandmaster teacher used to teach us, he said, they should call it a definitionary because there is no diction inside the dictionary. It's just a bunch of definitions. If that ain't a spell breaker, I don't know what is. Because see, he used to teach linguistics. He had he has a master's degree in linguistics. That man he speak 23 languages and can write 19 of them fluently and transliterate them letter for letter back into English. That takes a high degree of intellect to do that. You follow? I had the teacher of all teachers. And most of you overstand it, or don't even understand it. Only thing you can understand is English, and you don't even speak proper English. You speak grammar, right? To the people in England, they'll tell you, like, that's not English. That's not English, mate. These blokes think that they're speaking English. That's not English. You're not using your words proper, eh? Isn't it? Those Americans, they speak back alley English. That's not even English.